What if I told you that the average family in Spain is overpaying up to 60 euros a month on their internet and mobile plans? That's more than a weekend getaway you could be missing out on, and it's happening right now while you're scrolling through your phone. Imagine opening your bill and seeing a line you've never heard of, a charge that silently eats away at your budget. In the next few minutes, I'm going to pull back that bill apart, show you where the hidden fees hide, and give you the tools to cut that waste without sacrificing speed or coverage. I'm a tech-savvy consumer advocate who has audited dozens of telecom contracts, and I've seen the same tricks repeated over and over. With the cost of living climbing and providers bundling services that look cheap but end up costing more, it's more important than ever to understand exactly what you're paying for. Today we'll decode the anatomy of a typical invoice, compare the biggest providers, walk through real-world audits, and finish with a step-by-step plan you can start using tonight. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much you could be saving and exactly where to look to make those savings happen. Let's begin with the bill itself. Take a generic invoice in your hand. You'll see a header with the provider's logo, your account number, and the billing period. Below that, the first line is usually the base plan. This is the amount the provider advertises as unlimited, or up to 100 gigabytes, and it's the core of what you're paying for each month. Right after that, you'll find a line for data overage. Even if your plan says unlimited, many contracts have a fair use policy that kicks in after a certain threshold, and that extra usage is billed at a higher rate. Then there's the administrative fee, a small charge that looks harmless but adds up over the year, often labeled as service handling or account maintenance. Next comes equipment rental. If you're using a router or a set-top box, the provider will charge you a monthly fee for the hardware, sometimes hidden under a vague name like device lease. Below that, you'll see taxes. Value-added tax is standard, but some providers also add a regional surcharge that isn't clearly explained. Finally, at the bottom, there may be a line for optional services such as premium support, insurance for your device, or a green energy contribution. These are the items that most people overlook because they blend into the background of the invoice. Now, let's talk about the hidden fees that creep in over time. The first one is the early termination penalty. When you sign up for a promotional price, the contract often locks you in for 24 months. And if you decide to leave early, you'll be hit with a hefty fee that can be as high as 200 euros. The second, many providers increase the price after the promotional period ends, sometimes by as much as 15%, and they'll send you a new invoice without a clear warning. Third, there's the mandatory insurance that appears as a small monthly charge but can total over 100 euros a year, and it's rarely required unless you have a very expensive device. Finally, some contracts include a price adjustment clause that allows the provider to raise the price whenever they want, citing inflation or network upgrades, and the customer has little recourse. A quick tip to read the fine print in 30 seconds. Focus on any line that isn't around numbers like 10, 20, or 30 euros. Those are usually the hidden fees. Look for words like service, maintenance, insurance, or adjustment. If you see a charge that you don't recognize, pause and call the provider to ask for a detailed explanation.
Most of the time, they'll either waive it or offer a cheaper alternative if you ask.
What do you think about these hidden charges? Let me know in the comments. I really want to hear your experiences with surprise fees on your bills. Now that we know what we're paying for, let's see if those charges actually match our usage. The average Spanish household uses around 30 gigabytes of mobile data each month, while a typical home internet connection sees about 300 gigabytes of traffic. Yet many plans advertise 100 gigabytes of mobile data and unlimited home internet for a price that far exceeds the actual consumption. When you compare the major providers, Movistar, Vodafone, Orange, MásMóvil, and Yoigo, you'll notice that the advertised speed and data caps often look the same, but the fee structures differ dramatically. For example, one provider may charge a base fee of 50 euros for a fiber plan with a speed of 100 megabits per second, plus a 25 euro equipment rental, while another offers a similar speed for 40 euros but includes a hidden administrative fee of 5 euros and a data overage charge that only appears after you exceed 20 gigabytes. If you look at your own bill and see that you're paying for 100 gigabytes of mobile data, but you only use 30,
You're essentially overpaying for 70 gigabytes you never touch.
the same goes for home internet. Many families pay for unlimited speeds they never need, and the provider charges a premium for that promise. A simple exercise you can do right now is to glance at your last bill, write down the data allowance, and compare it to the usage statistics on your phone or router.
If there's a big gap, you've identified a potential saving.
In the next part, we'll dive into 3 real-world audits where families took these insights and turned them into real savings.
Stay with me, because if this is blowing your mind, hit subscribe and stay tuned for the next segment where we show you exactly how to negotiate or switch without losing any speed.
So let's jump straight into the first family we audited. This was a young couple in their late 20s living in a bustling neighborhood of Madrid. They had just moved into a new apartment and signed up for a bundled package that promised fiber with a speed of 100 megabits per second, a mobile plan for 2 lines, and a television package with a handful of premium channels. On paper, the monthly cost looked reasonable, around €85, but when they handed over their latest invoice, we could see the hidden layers start to emerge. The first line item was the base fiber fee of €50. That part was straightforward. The second line item was a €25 charge for the router rental.
The third line item, which many people overlook, was a €5 administrative fee that the provider automatically added each month.
On top of that, there was a data overage charge that only kicked in once the couple exceeded 20 gigabytes of mobile data. The couple's phone usage, according to the carrier's app, never went beyond 15 gigabytes in a typical month. Yet the invoice showed a €10 overage fee because the carrier's system counted background app updates and occasional video calls as separate data streams, pushing the total just over the limit. Finally, there was a small tax component that added another €3 to the total. When we added all those numbers together, the real cost of the bundle was around €93, not 85. That €8 difference might not sound like a lot, but over a 12-month period it adds up to €96, enough for a weekend getaway or a nice dinner out. More importantly, the couple was paying for services they didn't need. Their internet speed of 100 megabits per second was never fully utilized. Their streaming habits showed an average of 25 megabits per second during peak usage. Their mobile data usage was well below the limit, and they never watched the premium television channels that were part of the bundle. The next step was to break down the negotiation. First, we called the carrier's customer service line and asked for a detailed explanation of each charge. The representative confirmed the administrative fee and the router rental, but when we asked if the fee could be waived, they offered a small discount on the next month's bill, a one-time reduction of €5. Not a huge win, but a start. Then we asked about the data overage policy. The representative explained that the carrier's system automatically applied the overage fee once the data threshold was crossed, but they were willing to adjust the threshold to 30 gigabytes for a small increase in the base plan price. We calculated that the extra €2 per month for a higher data cap would still be cheaper than the €10 overage fee they were incurring each month. Finally, we tackled the router rental. By asking if we could purchase the router outright, the representative offered a one-time payment of €100 for the device, which would eliminate the monthly €25 rental fee. Over a 12-month period, that purchase would save €300, making the upfront cost worthwhile.
The couple decided to go ahead with the purchase, adjusted their data cap, and asked for the administrative fee to be removed as a goodwill gesture. The carrier agreed, and the new monthly total dropped to €79, a saving of €16 each month compared to the original plan.
The second case we examined was a single professional living in Barcelona who relied solely on a mobile plan with a generous data allowance. On the surface, the plan seemed like a great deal, a monthly fee of €35 for unlimited calls, texts, and a data cap of 20 gigabytes. However, a closer look at the invoice revealed a premium support fee of €5 that was automatically added each month.
This fee covered a 24-hour helpline that the user never used.
In addition, there was a small, Device insurance. Charge of €3 that the carrier had automatically enrolled the user in when they first signed up for the phone. The user had never filed a claim, and the insurance policies in the country typically only cover loss or theft, which the user had never experienced.
When we added those hidden fees, the real cost of the plan rose to €43.
The user's actual data consumption, according to the phone's built-in usage tracker, averaged around 12 gigabytes per month.
That meant they were paying for 8 gigabytes of data they never used, and they were also paying for services they never needed.
The first move was to call the carrier's support line and ask about the premium support fee. The representative explained that the fee was optional and could be removed without affecting the core plan. After a brief confirmation, the fee was dropped, bringing the monthly total down to €38. Next, we tackled the insurance. The representative confirmed that the insurance could be canceled at any time, but warned that if the user ever needed to file a claim, they would have to re-enroll and pay the full premium again. The user agreed to cancel, saving €3 each month. Finally, we looked at the data cap. Since the user only needed 12 gigabytes, we suggested switching to a plan with a 15 gigabyte allowance for a lower base price.
The carrier offered a promotional rate of €29 for the reduced data plan, which still included unlimited calls and texts.
The user accepted the new plan, and the final monthly cost settled at €29, a saving of €14 compared to the original arrangement. The third family we helped was a household of 4 living in Valencia. They had a mixed bundle that combined fiber internet, 3 mobile lines, and a television package with a large selection of channels.
Their monthly invoice was a staggering €120.
When we dissected the bill, we found a base fiber fee of €60, a mobile line fee of €20 per line, a television package fee of €25, and a series of small add-ons, a router rental of €25, a family protection, insurance of €5, and a premium content, surcharge of €3.
In total, the hidden fees added up to €33, pushing the overall cost well beyond the actual services used.
The family's internet usage, according to their router's traffic logs, averaged around 300 gigabytes per month, well within the unlimited plan they were paying for. Their mobile usage was modest. Each adult used roughly 10 gigabytes per month, while the 2 children used less than 5 gigabytes each. The television package, however, was rarely watched. The family mainly streamed content on their phones and tablets, and the premium channels were only accessed a few times a month. Our first recommendation was to split the services. Instead of keeping the fiber and television bundle together, we suggested moving the television package to a separate provider that offered a more flexible a la carte channel selection.
The family chose a streaming service that cost €15 per month, which covered the few premium channels they actually watched.
This move alone saved €10 on the television fee. Next, we addressed the router rental. By purchasing a high-quality router outright for €100 per month over 12 months, a total of €120, the family could eliminate the €25 monthly rental.
Over a year, the purchase saved €300, making the upfront cost a smart investment. The family agreed to buy the router.
We also tackled the family protection insurance. The insurance covered accidental damage to the router and the set-top box, but the family had never needed to claim anything. The carrier confirmed that the insurance could be canceled without affecting the core services. Removing the €5 fee saved €60 annually. Finally, we renegotiated the mobile lines. By switching 2 of the 3 lines to a low-cost prepaid plan that offered 15 gigabytes of data for €10 per month, the family could reduce the mobile bill by €20 each month. The third line, used by the primary earner, remained on the original plan, but with a reduced data cap of 20 gigabytes, which lowered the monthly fee by €5.
After all the adjustments, the new monthly total dropped to €69, a reduction of €51 compared to the original bill.
These 3 case studies illustrate a common pattern. Most households pay for more data, more speed, and more services than they actually need, and they often overlook small fees that silently add up. The good news is that by taking a systematic approach, reading the fine print, comparing usage to allowances,
and negotiating or switching where appropriate, anyone can achieve significant savings without sacrificing quality.
Now that you've seen how these families turn hidden costs into real money back in their pockets, let's walk through a step-by-step plan you can follow right now. First, gather your most recent invoices for both internet and mobile services. Look for any line items that you don't immediately recognize, things like equipment rental, administrative fees, insurance, or premium support. Write them down on a piece of paper or a notes app. Next, check your actual usage. For internet, you can log into your router's admin page or use the provider's app to see how many gigabytes you've transferred in the last month. For mobile, open the carrier's usage tracker on your phone and note the total data consumed. Compare those numbers to the allowances in your plan. If you see a large gap, for example, you're paying for 100 gigabytes but only using 30, that's a clear sign you can downgrade. Third, research alternative offers from competing providers. Look for plans that match your actual usage patterns but come with lower base fees or fewer hidden charges. Pay special attention to promotional periods and the fine print about price increases after the introductory phase. Fourth, call your current provider. Be polite but firm and ask if they can remove optional fees, adjust your data cap, or offer a loyalty discount. Many agents have the authority to waive administrative fees or provide a temporary price reduction if you mention that you're considering switching. If the agent can't help, ask to speak with a supervisor. They often have more flexibility. If the negotiation doesn't yield a satisfactory result, it may be time to switch. When you decide to change providers, make a list of the equipment you'll need to return, routers, set-top boxes, or any other leased hardware, and schedule a return to avoid unexpected charges. Also, check if there's an early termination fee. In many cases, the fee is less than the amount you'll save over the next 12 months, especially if you choose a provider with a lower monthly rate. Finally, set a reminder to review your new bill after the first month. Verify that the promised discounts are reflected and that no new hidden fees have appeared. A quick tip that often gets overlooked: many carriers offer a bring-your-own-device option that can save you the cost of a new phone every 2 years. If you already have a phone that's still in good condition, ask the provider if you can keep it and simply pay for the service.
This can shave off another €10 or more per month, depending on the device subsidy they were offering.
Now, let's talk about the psychological side of negotiating. It's easy to feel intimidated when you're on the phone with a large corporation, but remember that you are the customer, and the provider's revenue depends on keeping you happy.
A confident, friendly tone goes a long way.
Start the conversation by stating that you've been a loyal customer for several years and that you've noticed some charges that you'd like to understand better. When the agent explains a fee, ask if there's an alternative that doesn't include that charge. Often, the agent will present a standard plan that excludes the optional add-on, and you can simply switch to that version. If you're dealing with a language barrier, for instance, if the provider's support is primarily in Spanish and you're more comfortable in English, don't hesitate to ask for an English-speaking representative. Most large carriers have multilingual staff, and they'll be happy to accommodate you. In fact, asking for a different representative can sometimes reset the conversation and give you a fresh chance to negotiate. Another powerful strategy is to use the price match approach. If you found a competitor offering a similar plan for a lower price, mention it to your current provider. Many carriers have a price match guarantee, and they'll either lower your rate to match the competitor or offer a special discount to keep you. Be sure to have the competitor's offer details handy, the plan name, price, and any promotional terms, so you can reference them accurately. Let's not forget about the importance of timing. Telecom companies often roll out new promotions at the start of the fiscal quarter or during holiday seasons.
If you can align your negotiation or switch with these periods, you're more likely to encounter attractive deals.
Keep an eye on the provider's website, social media channels, and newsletters for announcements about upcoming sales or limited-time offers.